A warm welcome back to the Forensics Detailing channel, guys. It's gone cold again. How you all doing? So my alloy wheels are back from the refurb, and outside I've got the red peril back from after I hit a pothole, so I've had to have the suspension rebuilt basically. So these have come back from the refurb, and they are, as you can see, they've been painted. I haven't gone for a bare lip. I've just painted them, and we've got this kind of beige gold that Martin's got on his Porsche 997, which might look a bit yellowy here because everything probably looks a bit yellowy, but it's quite a neutral kind of gold that's not too blingy in gold. So it's quite subtle. It's a satin finish there, and then a gloss finish on the actual barrel. Now, we're putting this back together. So we've got these BBS M7 nuts, and I've cleaned them off as best I can. And what I'm going to do is put them in. So the face of the alloy is lined up so that the valve hole's in the right place. Yeah, let's make sure of that. Then what I'm going to do, we have 19 bolts. So I'm going to start, I'll probably start here actually, and put in the bolts. I'll hand fit them all. We'll do this while we're talking. So I'll hand fit all of these, just plonk them in. And then I will do these up to the specified torque, which is 20 Newton meters of torque, I believe. So I've just got this little mini torque wrench. So then I'll do those two, and then I'll do these two, and then I'll do those two, and then I'll do these two, and then I'll do those two, and sort of like I'll work my way around, you know, doing opposites until the whole lot's done. So we get this on evenly, and hopefully, you know, flat. I've done one already, didn't have any problems. When I took these out, I broke one bolt and managed to get Roger, the guy who made these for me, to help me drill it and helicoil it. Very helpful engineer in KT Fabrications, which was really helpful. I've had these done by the Wheel Works in Durban Road. Dan helped when we broke this. Dan helped get the tyre off so Roger could drill out the thing, which was cool. Yeah, now most refurb places don't normally do split rims, but because I split these down and went there with them like this, they very kindly agreed to do them, but they don't normally do split rims because they are a massive pain. So I'm just making sure that you can see everything here. Just want to get a good level there, if you like, just so that you can see. Just bear with me because this is going to be our shot for the next few minutes. Now, I've also got thread locker, so I'll be putting some thread locker in these just to make sure this kind of glue, if you like, will lock in. When you take these out, someone put super glue in these or something. See, it wasn't thread locker. Don't put them all the way down the bolt, you know, because when you put that much thread locker in, they can get to the point where you're more likely to snap them. So just a little bit of thread lock on the top is going to be sufficient. That was something me and Danny chatted about. So it would just mean if these ever need to come out again, I won't need to, you know, my risk of breaking them is less. But why is that not going? Oh yeah, okay, there we go. Okay, I don't use so much of this stuff, just a little bit, because I don't think these are going to come out, and I think just a bit on the top is going to be enough. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to getting these back on. I've got a lot of things going on to get this car ready for Thruxton, which is the place where the engine failed. So if you don't know, the engine blew almost a year ago, back in February 2024. I haven't done a track day since. I was having a great day and bang went the engine. And it's been a bit of a disaster since then because, well, you know, rebuilding Porsche engines and stuff isn't cheap. And also, obviously, with an old car like this, when you're in that process of rebuilding, there's a million and one other jobs you sort of discover, and you've got to make the decision: shall I do them? Shall I do these jobs? And I think you either do it on the cheap or you don't do it. So that point for me was: do I abandon this car or do I carry on with it? And I love the car, so I had all the engine work done by the guys at Barnsport. They just did an amazing job, like an amazing job. Trying to make sure this is all lined up properly, because these... Oh, that's not too clever. Yeah, they did an amazing job on not just the engine, but on the whole process of, getting from A to B, because there's a lot of other things that they noticed needed to be fixed, and it's that dialogue of, do you want us to do this as well? And in the end, we pretty much did everything, but they did it all, they did it all to budget. So I'm not going to screw these in just yet. 1, 2, 1, 2, and we go this way. Oh no, we'll go, oh wait, that's the odd one. It's where we should start, isn't it? So then we go this way, and this way, and this way. Got to get used to this patterning. And this way, and this way. Yeah, so they did a fantastic job. Got the engine, got the work done, got the car back, and it was running great. There was one oil leak on the scavenger pump seal, which I took it back for them to just tighten it up and do the oil change for me after the running in period. And then after that, I got to drive the car back for the first time where I could redline it. But I'd taken these wheels off, and I had Danny's turbo twist with his ditch finder tyres, just lethal tyres. So it wasn't really safe to redline the car too hard on those tyres. And then on the way back, we pulled off the motorway on the M27 because Danny saw another aero. So he contacted me. Said, John, pull into the next service station. I've just seen one of our Aero Club members. So we pulled into the service station. As we're pulling in, there was a big pothole, like a giant pothole in the entrance to the service station. I smashed into it with my right front, and it just made an explosion noise. And I knew straight away, that's not good. And so... after I hit it as well, the car just didn't feel the same. It was like there was a vibration, and it was pulling slightly to the right, and it just felt a bit loose and weird. So that was another problem. So I had to get that investigated. So the front shock, there was loads of play on it. So I got that. I took that to Nad. He's a really good suspension specialist, and he said, "Yeah, there's too much play on that suspension. The whack has sort of disturbed it." So that needs to be rebuilt. And you don't rebuild one, so you rebuild them in pairs. So I had to rebuild both suspension struts. And of course, they've been in there, all the top mounts were corroded, and just a lot of work. All of that work's been done, and Nad's done a geo on it as well, because after you put the suspension back in, it's all got to be geoed. And I picked the car up last night. It's still on those ditch finders and the turbo twists, but it felt amazing. It felt really good. It felt tight, like an Aero, like a Formula One car, really good. So yeah, Nad's done a fantastic job. So the last step now before Thruxton is to get these wheels rebuilt. So hopefully I'll have that done. An hour, 2 hours, and then get these tyres fitted there. Those are Michelin Pilot Sport 4S's. To any of you that, most of you, if you're into cars, will know about these tyres. These tyres, they're a road tyre that you can run on track, basically, but they have decent performance in the wet, so that you're not going to be sliding around or aquaplaning like if you're on Cup 2s or track semi-slicks. So they're kind of like the track tyre of choice for lots of people. that want to use their car on the road. It's not an out and out track car. There was a deal on these going, so I bought them on Cam Skills with the 60 quid cash back. So it was too good a deal not to do. The only thing I don't like about these is the sidewalls are quite thin, but they feel stiffer than, maybe they've revised them. The last time I used them, they feel a bit stiffer. So they're not quite as firm like as the Cup 2s with feel. So there's a slight squirm to them. It's hard to describe, but not really a squirm, but a sort of lack of response, if you like, because of that soft tyre wall. So let's just carry on then with this. Make sure that doesn't fall over. So what we want to do is just get these, we're just loose fitting these in. Get in there. Why is that not going down? I'm so worried that there's going to be like one problem or something. There may well be, you know, problems with the threads, all that sort of stuff. But once these wheels are in, the tyres are on, that's probably when I should do the full shakedown of the car. And maybe I'll put the GoPro on my head and we'll go for a drive, and I'll show you why I really love this 996 Porsche. I love it. But it's really pissing me off as well, because it's just, every time you go to use it or do something, something breaks. I've got to paint the caps because they're black. So I'm popping the caps out, and of course they've got little silver emblem badges in that you've got to prise out. So I'm trying to prise one out, and of course I snap the plastic disc, and they're like 300 quid from Porsche. So I've managed to order some on eBay. I could just paint over and put a bit of glue on them and paint them, they'd be fine. But I've got to then get the paint mixed up, because this is obviously, this paint here is powder coat. So I've got to go and get the paint to match it in a rattle can. That one's a bit stiff, which is a bit strange. My cross technique's not been the best. Yeah, so everything's problematic, and I've still got 1,000,001 jobs to do on that Porsche. I've got to get that roof off, because that leak is really bugging me as well. Because I've got like the soaking wet foam thing that I was talking about in the other video, which is not good, and you don't want that like that forever. So I need to get that roof done. Why is that so stiff, that one? There's been some crud in there. Maybe that's been helicoiled. Maybe that's the helicoiled one. I think it was one of the wide ones. And when you're doing this, you want to be careful, because this is on a spline. You don't want it to jump out that bolt and scratch the finish. I also don't want the finish ruined when the tyres are fitted, so I've just got to be very careful. There's a chap I use who's good up the road, and he'll be able to do them without damaging them, hopefully, because this is a lot of work. I mean, it's a lot of work, and I've done this work before and taken my alloys, done this work, had the tyres put on, ceramic coated the alloys, driven the car, and then the next time I go to change the tyres, they've been destroyed, the alloys. Not for anyone I use now, but unfortunately, I'd say, I'm not trying to be an asshole, but I'd say about, finger in the wind, at least 50%, but in my experience, probably more like 75 to 80% of tyre fitters can't change tyres without smashing the alloys to bits. And it's not the bit where the rim thing goes round and pushes the rubber under. It's the seal breaker. So they deflate the tyres, and the seal breaker comes on the back, that plate that goes down and pops it off, knocks the thing off, and they roll it round. It's as that plate comes down, it goes over the face and rubs on it. It's that does the damage 9 times out of 10. You know, if you're really careful, you can do it. But there are these non-marring tools, plates, cover plates that you're supposed to put on those seal breakers, but none of the tyre shops use them. So if the tyre fitter isn't careful, when they pop the tyre off, it's that rubbing of that plate. And where they don't use the non-marring plates, the painted surface of the plate gets scratched off, and it's steel underneath, which corrodes and becomes rusty and abrasive. So it's just going to rip that surface to pieces. And that's happened a few times to me. And I've said to the tyre fitting place, these were mint. I said it before, and look, they're damaged. And most of the time they'll just apologise and say, well, unfortunately, changing tyres means your finish can, it's not a process. It's a process which can damage the finish. I don't agree. I think it's usually just a training issue, and they've got some lad doing it that just doesn't care. I don't want to stereotype, but that again is what's happened to me a few times, and it's soul destroying because this is a lot of work. It is a lot of work to get these to where you want them, and it's you care so much because you spend so much money and spend so much time that it just takes a split second from someone that doesn't care about any of this and is doing that job constantly and just doesn't care. He wants it done, get on to the next set, done, go to lunch. And that's soul destroying, and it's happened to me a lot of times. So if you can find a tyre fitter that you trust, really support them, and there are good ones out there, fantastic ones out there actually. So yeah, Glenn is the guy I use at TPM. He's brilliant. He's done loads of alloys for me, and he's never marked them. Right, so we're getting to the stage where we're going to be torquing them properly soon. And they're still going to need a bit of tightening to get to that torque stage. So 20 Newton meters. So now we just need to concentrate a little bit. We'll do our first one there opposite the valve. So we've got our marker point. And sometimes you will see me double clicking on the torque wrench because it's just psychological. I know it's not going to do anything after the first click. I'm a bit worried straight away. Oh yeah, no, we're fine. We're fine. Once this starts to slide, we're at the point where it's going to click. There it is. So, yeah, we're done. Okay. Now, someone will probably tell me that I'm doing this wrong. No problem. I probably am. I do want to know. But this apparently is how you're supposed to do it. And you do have to be careful. You're not supposed to really do this at home. Okay, over we go. Out with the bad air. There we go. Right, back to the start. And left one. There we go. One's a bit loose than the others. Might as well tighten it. There we go. Okay, let's just make sure. I've got them on a towel because obviously we've been putting a lot of torque on them, so they're gonna. I don't want to scratch them. So yeah, I will get these once the tyres go on. I'll just hurl a ceramic coating on them. So where are we? Why are we doing that one? Why am I doing that one? Have I done? Oh, okay, that was that one. Why am I? Have I just torqued that one? No, I haven't. I've done that one. Yeah, so that's good. So now we go back there, back to there, and then that way. So we're on this one. Just got to concentrate a little bit. So. Yeah, other than that, things are going really good. I'm really looking forward to this track day. We got one, so I've got Thruxton in March, and then I've got Snetterton in April. There's a load of us going down to Snetterton, so that should be a good laugh as well. So I'm really looking forward to that. The big unknown for me is will it be able to handle track abuse? And I think the answer is maybe not, is don't go quite as hard on the car as you normally do with the BMW or something else that's not a Porsche. Don't go quite as hard, because these Porsches, especially when you're cornering at high speeds, the brakes, I think I'm going to discover, are probably going to be the next money pit thing I'm going to have to do. I already know that, actually. I already know that the brakes are not going to be great. So probably going to do the 6-pot upgrade. So if I can, I don't know. I'll see first of all, just this year. Next thing is that roofer, that carbon fibre roof. That needs to be done, because that's really bugging me. Like, if you're going to get a 996, try and get one without a sunroof, because if it's got a sunroof, it ain't going to work. The sunroof will be knackered, trust me. They all leak. Even the ones that without a problem leak a little bit. Okay, so now we're going around, so we're over here now, I'd imagine. I'll check them all at the end. And of course, we want to make sure that this is mounted correctly. Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't feel like a lot of torque, really, and it probably isn't. 20 Newton meters. Yeah, so that, I'll just check. Yeah, I've done that one, so we're getting towards the end now. Yeah, it's not a lot of torque, is it? But it doesn't need to be a lot of torque. Once you combine 19 bolts all at 20 Newton meters with thread locker, probably enough. Yeah, it's right, isn't it? So there we go. Nearly there. Oh, I think a couple more to go. Here we go. Oh, he's swine. Then we go back to here. I think something's gone wrong, because I think I've done all the other ones now and I've still got one here to do, so I've got out of sync somehow. Then we go over here. This torque wrench was like 10 quid. And it's brilliant. It's the same as my Silverline one, but smaller. It's a 3/8 one. Yeah, brilliant little thing. Right, I think I've done all these. So I've run out of the alternative axis ones. So it's just these two left. So somewhere I got out of sync, but, or maybe I didn't. Maybe this is just where they meet. Well, no, yeah, well, they've got to meet somewhere, haven't they? Don't know, not thinking clearly today. Come on, click. Yeah, and then over we go. Other than that, what's going on with the detailing side, I'm going to be doing, I've just spent all of the money to do my Hall of Fame wax series, which is going to cost a fortune, but it's nostalgic for me. It feels really good. So let's just double check we've got them all now. So we'll start opposite here. Yeah, so I've got all of my 10 Hall of Fame's waxes, which has cost me an arm and a leg, but it's worth it. But I'm just waiting for one more to arrive from Switzerland. I'll give you a clue. Yeah, and that'll be really cool, because I think there's some passion still within. So lots of people don't use paste waxes anymore because of the time and, you know, having to go round each panel and apply it and then go back round each panel and buff it. And, you know, people have just moved on to stuff that's quicker and just as effective, really. You know, it won't make a difference if you're using a different If you're using a spray wax, your car won't be better protected because of wax. It's just preference, isn't it? But it's that enjoyment, and I think wax is a really lovely car product. But people that make it, I think, really put their heart and soul into the wax making, which is a really cool thing. So yeah, so that's all done. So yes, and there we have our alloy that should be fully torqued up now. Lovely, isn't it? It's beautiful doing this work. I love this sort of stuff when it's actually going smoothly. Some days it just don't pay to get up and nothing works and everything breaks, but some days things just go smoothly. And today I'm winning. So you get the idea now of what I've got to do. I've sanity checked that, haven't I? So we're good. I've sanity checked that one, so we're good. I'll maybe double sanity check it, and then I'll go on to these two front ones. And yeah, getting there, guys. And I'll do another video about that there. That's my new wax cooler. Those are not, well, I've got some waxes out. They may or may not be in the Hall of Fame. So yeah, but I've got some waxes in there. I don't need that cooler to be on right now. It's when it starts warming up and you get into the sort of 20s, you should probably have them in a cooler so they don't melt and you don't lose solvent and stuff like that and lose the integrity of the wax. A bit like storing wine, storing fine wine. I suppose it needs the correct environment to be stored. It's a bit like that with the wax. No, not really. Well, maybe. They melt if they get too hot. Thank you for tuning in. Don't forget to subscribe. I'll do the full shakedown video on the car once these are on. I can't wait to get them on, and the car will look really good. A lot of you said you like the look of the turbo twists. So do I, actually. It's kind of retro, isn't it? It really suits the car. But I just want the Sport Classics. I just prefer them. I just do. The size, I don't know, the split rim thing. These are kind of like, they were the speccable kind of options. You've got the Sport Designs, which are lovely, similar to the Sport Classics, and the turbo twists. Yeah, they're all good. They're all good. It's whatever floats your boat. Whatever had come with my car, if it was Sport Designs or turbo twists, I would have kept. But I do like these. Yeah, I really do. This sort of like BBS kind of style, you know, and they're just very nice looking kind of alloy. And I think that kind of light satin, just off gold, if you like, silvery gold. It's not quite as silvery as Weiss gold. It's a bit golder than Weiss gold. Yeah, like I say, Martin used it on his alloys and I saw it and I thought that's really nice. So yeah, brilliant. Okay guys, so back on with the show. I'll leave you to it and I'll be cracking on with alloy number 3. Woohoo!